Okay, quick thing on an add-on to this for combat text. Text mesh and normal text, they work virtually identical. So there's two ways to do it. The first thing I do is I make a manager. Let's give it an FSM. And I'm just going to adjust my keyboard here briefly. Okay, and let's actually give it a proper FSM. So get owner, store this into, I've already built that. So he's my combat text manager. So in this guy, all I want is a new text event to which we need to just get data. So we need the value, I might as well just call it damage, and we need position. Now we need something to create. So if you want screen space, you would create a canvas. We'll call this combat text canvas. Nothing special. And we need to create what it would be. Now, they said now the text and the Text Mesh Pro are actually identical. So I'm not even going to adjust the size on this or anything, but I'm just going to prefab. Actually, let's change its name. And I'm just going to prefab it and delete it. So like I literally did nothing to it. And I'm just going to pull it in. So if we get this info, all we need to do is create our damage text under our damage text canvas and screen space world to screen point. So we need a camera. So let's get main camera. So that's our camera, and we're going to take the world position of the position coming in from our event. And I don't have much luck with storing this. I think it's because of the vector 2 to vector 3 thing, which technically shouldn't matter, but for some reason it does. So I'm going to create that. I'm going to store it as created. I am going to set position 2D. If you don't have that, it's on ecosystem. World. And then I am going to destroy object. The created after 1 second. Meanwhile, we still need to do one more thing to that. So like I said, I mean, if it's normal text, you would just do set text UI text set text you would use this one. We're not. We're using TextMesh Pro, so we're going to use this one. Beyond that, the logic to them is identical. And I spelled damage wrong, but big whoop. And if I go into this guy now, let's give him just a small FSM that just translates upwards. Now let's go like maybe 35. So meanwhile, this guy here, and now that that's set up, it will work with anything. Like you could have all your AI doing this exact same method. So all we're going to do is we're going to extend onto this. And we're going to set event data. We need the damage, which I think that's something else I did last night, because before I had this as just a value, so I gave it a random int. Get rid of that. So I just kind of gave it a random int. So we're going to set that int, and then the other thing we do is we need to know where this is happening. So we already have the data for the position. So I'm just going to use that. And then I'm going to send the event to that global text. Now, alright, so he is over here. His damage is right, but he's not getting the position. So let's see. He's getting the vector. Oh, well, there we go. Set position isn't supposed to be on the owner, it's supposed to be on the created. So there we have that. Of course, it looks a little odd, so we need to put that in the middle. There we go. And if we come over here to this guy, well, actually, let's go to this person first. So all we did is set the data that we've already collecting to do our damage system to begin with, and we're just going to pass it on to the manager. And I could literally just copy that, paste it over here to where this guy does this system. Only I don't know if he has the same variable names. Let's check. He has a random damage. I did that yesterday too, so it's not just a value. So he sets damage. He also gets position of the hand, but then he does the call the method, so he gets the spawn position. So let's send spawn. So when he attacks, he has his damage. I attack, I have my damage. Pretty fancy. Now, when you're doing this, you could run a critical strike or anything here, like maybe it's a heal or whatever, and you could set, probably be better to do a string data if you're going to have numerous things. And then up here, prior to this, you would come down here and do a string switch. And then depending on that, you could set color, right? See if I have the right actions. I might have grabbed the wrong actions for the Text Mesh Pro, but we will see, right? Because right now, right, let's turn the color red, but we don't need to turn it red. I mean, we could do all sorts of different colors. Yeah. See, I think I got the wrong actions. So I'm not going to worry about that right now. I'll fix that up later on, maybe. So that's the screen space. Now, what would happen if you want to do a different one? Like if I pull this guy out, let's create a canvas and stick him under there, and let's give him a tag so we can find him easy. We can probably keep the name damage text. Turn this one to world space. Let's shrink him right down. Give him a width like that. Something along there. Let's turn the text around 180. Okay, let's just line that up, make sure that sizing is good. It's insanely large. So let's cut this guy down to 0.25. You probably have to go smaller than that. Right, so if I now...
Hey Dad, I'm back.
Okay, quiet please.
Why?
So now I have canvas 1. So without changing anything happening there, all I'm going to do is I'm going to go into here. We're going to just reuse the same data because it's at that part's not going to change, and just get rid of screen point. Only now, let's take our canvas that we just made. Let's create that canvas, and we're not going to do that, but we will just set position now. Actually, we don't even need to do that. We can use spawn point or position. And that means that this isn't there. So we need get child under the created. So get child of the created, and that's called damage text. We tagged it text, and let's store that as my text. Alright, so we're still going to destroy the created, but now we're going to change the text on my text. Alright, let's test that. Where is... Oh, yeah, okay, well, we gotta alter that part too. So the other thing is we don't want, when we create it, we're not going to have a parent anymore. So he has, where is it? Oh yeah, so okay, so it's spawning, but it has another one little minor thing you got to do to it. Is in this thing you need to get main camera, and we need to look at it. So owner is going to look at camera, vertical's fine. That's it. Now oh, Okay, yeah, so see how the text is going super fast? That's one of the differences. If you put it on screen space, the speed things move, like I put it at 35. Now you're going to want it like 0.5 when you're using the world space. Alright, so there's that. But it's literally the exact same thing, and as you can tell, like this one looks a little tilted, and there's different things you can do about that, which is one of the reasons why I personally like the screen space, because then you have to worry about these like layers and how it goes behind things. You just put it on the screen. But that's kind of a floating combat text. Like I said, and you can change damage on anything you want, right? Like right here, like you could throw, run a chance for a critical hit, or this attack is a heal, or this attack is a block. And then down here you set string, block, heal, critical. And then up here we'd run a string switch. Like that, and you would have something like heal, crit. No, okay, well that's a horrible slam on the keyboard, but something like that. And we would just get that info here, the type. So when it comes through, so this would be your end result, and we could now, probably the easiest thing to do would be to set color value. Something like that, right? And so if it's a heal, maybe it's green. If it's I don't know, maybe orange if it's a crit. I don't know, maybe blue if it's blocked. And if it's neither, that's the other thing, you also have to have a normal in here as well. Right? So then you would just set, now I don't have the proper actions, but I can fake it. Right? I could take this guy as a variable. So if we get component on my text of that text mesh pro, which is damage text 1, I just called it, set property of damage text 1 as the color, and then use the current color. Right, so now right, so this guy here, now I could say, do a heal, for example. Let's make sure that's all spelled right. I think I used a capital. Right, so now we should see, oh, no, we didn't see it. set the color on the right thing. Damage text, it is storing it. It says it's changing the color. There is numerous. Oh well, that would probably help, eh? You gotta get the Aurora. You gotta get the component and then set property. All right, so there would be a color, and you could do that till the cows come home, right? Where did we put that? All right, let's go something like that. And you can also animate these things any which way as well. You can change animations. It's not a huge deal. So we have heal. Let's use crit to keep those the same with a capital. Crit, block, heal. Right. So if I hit, right, that's with the heal. But if I come down here and change this to crit, now it's that orange. If I change that to block, now it's that blue. And and that works with the screen space, or like it doesn't matter. And it doesn't matter if it's text mesh pro or the normal text. It's literally the only difference is this line right here. Anyways, we'll talk to you guys later.